Hey everybody, how are you? I'm good. I just don't know if I'm going live or not. Not really sure what's happening. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. Don't ask me. Anyway, how are you guys doing? It is Monday, the last week before the elections. So it's crazy election time. Won't get into it. Just gotta you know, my daughter telling me that I should sit this one out if I'm undecided. But I've never not voted in my entire ability to vote. First time I voted was when Jimmy Carter was in office. I had the vote in 1980. So that was the first time I was allowed to vote, and I voted then, and I've been voting ever since. Do I pick a winner? I don't even remember. I have no idea. It's been a long time. All I know is I go in and I vote no matter what. But anyway, my friend was cleaning out his library and gave me his old books. And I got the NKBA study books. Now, I used to have the books and they were paperback. Okay. Now, these books are hardcover. And they're huge. They're taking up a lot of room and they're very heavy. Very heavy. These are two. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And two of the books are big like this. This is the kitchen planning. So I wanted to just go over this book. These are from probably 2000, 2002. A lot of these things haven't really changed because, some of the stuff just doesn't change. Oh, this is the Professional Resource Library. And this is the book on, to thank you for our sponsors. Got sponsors in this book. When is it from? 2006. 2006. Would be good if I had my glasses on. Okay. 2006. So, basically a lot of the stuff that's in these books is the same. Like your kitchen planning is the same. But from nothing's changed with kitchen planning. And I wonder how much of this book is stuff we really use. And that's my problem with the NKBA. It's a lot. To study this book, this would be a full-time semester of meeting for the full, at least 3 months to 6 months, meeting twice a week for a couple of hours a week and doing homework and everything. Because the stuff that they cover in this is the only thing that really would change would be the guidelines, some of the codes and the standards, which have modified over the time. You know that I've gone through the book. They came out with new standard codes in 2023, the same way that they came out with the new electrical code. We've got people discussing that electric on the island. People still don't quite get it, that's the new code. If it's going to change, give it a few years, it'll change back. Okay, so I just opened up this book and it's talking to me, design applications. What is this? Well, let's see. This is talking about, I don't know. So here I have this picture. Okay, we have this picture. So it has a wall. What is happening here? That looks like sheetrock of some kind with insulation. The lettering is so small. a dew point, something to do with the dew point, going outside and having to have a vapor barrier. I'm sorry. Now, this is one thing. Now, I just opened up the book, okay? And environmental considerations. Okay. I have never, ever, ever in my career had to figure out what the environmental consideration was for what the temperature is outside versus inside, and having to worry about a vapor barrier. Okay, that's not my problem to worry about a vapor barrier. You know whose problem that is to worry about a vapor barrier? The construction, the architect, the engineer. I'm not getting worried about environmental considerations of if it's hot out or if it's warm inside or whatever. That is over and above. That's over and above, in my opinion. Again, tell me if I'm wrong. Maybe if I was in Alaska, I don't understand this even. As warm, moist air moves through a wall, condensation will occur when the air is cooled to the dew point temperature. Who cares? A vapor retarder prevents the flow of moisture from the kitchen into walls where it can cause mold and other problems. News to me, people. News to me. Been in the business 30 something years. I've never even seen or talked or heard of anything like this. And this is in the NKBA book. That's big, huge, big. And there's my problem. Who ever needed to worry about a vapor barrier on their environment when doing a bathroom and a kitchen, okay? Other than providing ventilation and required openings and doorways and green building. We're getting into green building. I don't want to know about green building. Maybe I want to know about it, but why do I need to worry about that when I'm designing a kitchen layout? Energy management, double pane glass. Again, I'm getting into the windows. Why am I, as a kitchen specialist, getting involved in double pane environmental windows? I like it, but I'm not an architect. I'm not a builder. This is minutia. So far, have I turned to one thing in this book? Kitchen design research. Oh, overhang. Here we go. The overhang. Now we're talking seating. This is what we're talking about. But you know what I am at this point in the book? I'm midway through the book. I'm in the middle of the book. I just find it really frustrating because I want to get down to the business. What's the business? What am I doing? What's happening? That's what I want to know. And here, look at these pathetic little pictures. Can you see that? Can you see that? They're talking about walkways. Ugh. Now can you read it? Yet they took a whole page to tell me what the temperature is outside. So I've got this book on kitchen planning, putting it all together. Oh, now we're getting into couches. Okay, again, kitchen people. We're kitchen people. We're not living room, dining room, den people. That's this book, okay? Kitchen planning. The whole thing could be, this is what I like for my kitchen planning, okay? Give me kitchen planning. Give me this book, kitchen planning. All my guidelines right in there. That's the book I like. And fortunately, it's it's not relevant. A lot of the codes have changed. Instead of that, they gave me this big purple book, which I don't even like. And I don't like this purple book. I've given my example of this book before that I think it's got a lot of stuff in here. It's mixing ADA with regular. It should have a whole separate section on ADA and not mix it in there because I got to go through what's ADA and what's not ADA. It's, again, too complicated. So here, now we have this book on design principles. I'm just picking out these books just to pick them out. Design principles, color, form, styles. And again, we've got all our major players who are sponsoring the book. Okay, I'm going to get a book together and have these people sponsor it. Basics of beauty, developing style. A brief history of the kitchen, yada yada yada. I'm going to do that one on. I have my own course, my own little course on the history of the bathroom. Okay, so now this is the elements of design: line, shape, space, form, texture, color. I really think that. Well, maybe this is good. This is more of an interior design uh, course, interior design education, line, form, style, and it's got lots of pictures. I got a book full of lots of pictures here. Lots of pictures. I got pictures. Definitely an older book. We've got the maple with the black. So this is, and here we have talking about color, our color theory. So this is their book on principles, color harmonies. This is a book on color, what's monochromatic design, uh, and can't even say it. We'll pick a different complementary design. Talking about your complementary colors. Okay, that's not really complementary design as much as, well, I guess you could say complementary colors. And then it's took into neutral colors, transforming spaces with color. So this has to do with color and line and form, principles of design. This is just a book full of pictures, a book full of pictures that could have been surfaces, floors, walls, textured walls with a layered finish are typically used. Wood wainscoting is not appropriate in an Italian villa room, but a tile wainscoting would be great. Says who? That's their opinion. I think those are opinions at that Scandinavian country. And then it gets into your forms of style. These are interior design courses. European classic formal, 1820 to 1850, Biedermeier, French Empire. So you're designing Biedermeier, and I've never designed a kitchen to be based on Biedermeier or something like that. Maybe some of an influence, but it's certainly nothing like what furniture design is. It's not. It's just not. And that's a whole book about that. That's that book. Kitchen and bath systems. Now, this might have been the book I pulled out that I was like, you know what? Who needs to know this? Where was it? About plumbing? Is it about the plumbing? Where was that book? And where is it? Hold on, guys. Just hold on. Let me look through the book. 1 second. Okay, this is it. Now, this maybe you could study the systems, but it gets into the vent line and the toilet line and the pitch and all that stuff like that. I guess maybe you need to have that information so that you can kind of get a concept of what's a vent line. Everything has a vent line, and what's the main water line, just for that. Again, what does it say here? When toilets are installed below the waistline of the house, they must be hooked up to an ejector pump that grinds the waste into slurry and pumps it up to the waistline. The device can be mounted in a pit below the floor, as shown, or set behind the toilet. if the toilet is installed on a platform above the floor. Okay, so I've done one toilet, one below the waistline in my 30 some odd years, but that's in the book here. And this is just, I guess this is a pretty good technical drawing on bathtubs and shower systems. Again, it's just kind of showing the waste line, the water line, where the pipes go and stuff like that. It's behind the walls. And again, you just kind of have to have a somewhat of an understanding of them, but you don't. And one thing that you need to know is, say, put the tub spout here, put the floor waste here. It's a wall drain, it's a floor drain, it's a curbless drain, it's a center of the floor drain, it's a tub drain, it's a sink drain. And the piping can be different for that. A tub can be 1.5 inches, 2 inches pipe. It doesn't even say here. And the shower drain, the kitchen sink is usually a 3-inch basket. So, like, here it talks into the toilet, how a toilet gets the water, and the water goes down, and then it goes down the waistline. And that's good. That's a good plumbing fixtures and appliances and accessories. Here, the trap length. I've never had to do anything like that. Like, why? Waste piping. It tells me all the little nuts and everything. Do I really need to know all that? All I need to tell the plumber is, fix that over there, install that. Maybe I could tell him when something's not wrong, or when something's wrong because I saw the picture and it was supposed to be done a certain way and it's not being done. And then this is talking about our piping, your copper, your brass, galvanized, steel, PVC, sizing for water supply. I don't pick out the sizing for the water supply. Okay? I don't do that. The plumber does that. The architect, the engineers. Like, I don't care that the house main is supposed to be 1 inches, or the house serve is 3/4, riser supply 3/4, kitchen sink 1/2 inch, ice maker 1/4 inch. I don't, you know, a shower 1/2 inch. The only thing I've ever had to know is that an ice maker is a 1/4 inch pipe, 1/4 inch line, and a dishwasher 3/8. That's it. So again, what? A cold water supply to house, a pump, hot and cold water supply. The only thing I've ever had to look at, and then all of these waste lines throughout the house and vent lines. I mean, how much of it truly are you really using? How much of it really of in this book and studying for that test have you really used? This is talking about how the air goes for your whatever, the dishwasher. I don't even know, what is that for the dishwasher. An air gap fitting. I don't have an air gap fitting on my dishwasher. This is based in the United States, so I don't know where they're getting an air fitting for. I've never buy a dishwasher ever had anything that remotely looks like that. Dishwashers. A dishwasher typically mounts under the countertop next to the sink so that the drain hose from the dishwasher can connect into the trap from the sink. Some codes require an air gap fitting on the high end of the waste loop to prevent siphoning. Never, again, in all my years, I've never ever run into that. What else is in this book? Cold air, hot water, cold water, hot water, cold water. I don't teach this stuff when I teach kitchen and bathroom because I don't think it's necessary. I think that, we have to talk about ventilation, of course, but it doesn't take a whole 6 months to learn ventilation or 3 months to study for this. Oh, it does get into Canadian building codes, so I take it back. It goes to Canadian also. So this is their book on plumbing, systems, lines. Oh, now I need to know how. What is a gas tank? I don't need to know this. I need to know how many gallons is it? How many pressure gallons per minute? Hot water does it give me? I don't need to know the makeup of this thing. Maybe if I got spare time, but you know anybody with spare time that needs to learn all this? And a bow vent. Okay. Why do I need to know as a kitchen and a bath designer? I just want to know, why do I need to know about this bow venting? That goes to show you. One time I specified the in the wall carrier from Duravit, okay, the toilets that have in the wall carrier. Now, I don't know how the plumbing goes on that because you know what? I'm not a plumber. I know that it's an in the wall carrier. Okay. And my toilet waste is not on the floor, it's on the wall. So my toilet is wall hung. That's what I know. I know that the carrier has to go in the wall. The wall needs to be 4 or 6 inches thick. I need to know the carrier is set at a certain height for my toilet. I can adjust the height of the toilet. So I know I need to give my plumber exactly the height of the toilet seat I want. Do I need to know how to install that toilet and what kind of waistline it needs? I don't need to know that. I don't want to know that. I need to know other things. And the plumber called me up and he's like, how do I mount the toilet? How do I run the waistline? What do I do? And like, you know what? You're an idiot. If I need to tell you how to mount the toilet, then you're an idiot because you're the plumber and you deal with waistlines all day long. I don't know. Call the company. Find out from them how you're supposed to run your waistline. Call an engineer. Ask him how you run your waistlines. You're the plumber. I don't know how to do it. So, you know what I feel about that? This book is a waste. I found 2 pictures. Maybe I should know about. What are we talking about here? Oh, and we're getting into lighting, the color of light, your electrical system. Like I don't even know. I don't even know. I don't even know. I don't understand. Computer, prints or printer, study, TV viewer, uh structured wiring for high definition TV. Structured wiring devices. Do you know how to do that as a kitchen designer? Black to black, white to white, and all this other stuff that they're telling you? Do you really think you need to know that? I don't think so. I think you need to know whether it's a one-way, a two-way switch, a three-way switch, four-way switch. I think you need to know how high to put the switches. Switches should be around 42 to 48 inches above the floor. You need to have them on the handle side of the door so that when you open up the door, the switch is right there. That's what I need to know. I don't need to know this. Okay? That's not what I need to know. This is my problem with NKBA. It's a lot of minutia. It's a lot of minutia. I don't really need to know this. I need to know a little bit of it, that there are pipes behind the wall and everything gets into a vent line and everything has to be hooked together and all the water lines are in together. And that's what I need to know. I need to know that the main waste goes here. So all my bathrooms need to be in a certain distance from my waistline. Okay, I know that the waistline pitches. It has a pitch to it. So the stuff pitches out of the house, out of the residence, out of the building. That's what I need to know. So it's another book. I get annoyed with them because I don't think they do such a good job. And everybody is NKBA. But you know why they're so big? Look at their sponsors. Look at them. They got money. It's always about the money. See the sponsors. They have sponsors. That's why they're big. Now this is going to be about kitchen and bath drawing. I guess it's a little bit complicated, but this goes into the symbols. It's so small. See my drawing, writing. How to measure, how to hold your tape measure. Very important, how to hold your tape measure. How to measure. Angles, what you'll need. Nowadays, you don't need this. I had this thing. This was a really expensive drafting tool. That was really cool, though. I had a whole table with this thing. If you did all your drafting by hand, that was the thing to do. So keep in mind that if you don't have a computer, you can always use a good old-fashioned T-square. And just a little drafting board. You, too, can do that. And a triangle, and your triangle. That's all you need. A triangle, pencil, drafting paper, and you can do a kitchen. And a scale. There we go. Scale, triangle, pencil, and you do need a T-square. See, your T-square with your triangles gives you your angles and your straight angles. That's what you need. You can have a computer program. It's very nice to have a computer program, but if you can't, and a lot of the times I put it in the computer and then I'll do all my drafting by hand, a good old scale, old school, pencil and paper. So you can, it talks about, there's a whole section here about all your things. So this is this book talking about, okay, let's drafting. Oh, it talks a little bit about our lines. Okay, so we have our lines. So this book is pretty decent. Talk about the lines, putting in our lines and how to do the doors. And this is just a basic drafting. And these are all of your symbols for your lighting fixtures. I talk about the lighting. We have to have, your symbols. We don't use all those symbols, but we use some of them. Oh, and this is just telling us about our title block and elevations, how to do our elevations. So any kind of drafting, if you've taken interior design courses of any kind, you'll know about the elevation symbol. But the kitchen gets a little more technical, and they just show how to do the elevations. And then presenting the project. It talks about how to present the project. I don't know what this is. And your designer statement. And, just how to put it together. So you're talking about John and Jane Smith putting your pages together and presenting all the drawings. Okay, so that's that book. And then we have the kitchen and bath products. You should know your products. Bidet features, a toilet bowl. Oh, this is actually giving you the breakdown. Again, like I need to know all of this. The handle, the seat, the flap, the thing. Again, with the pipes underneath. What do they say? Oh, drain line, elbow, closet flange, angle step, shut-off valve. I guess that, what, the one good thing I'll tell you about it is if you can memorize that, like, what's a tank, what's a supply line, what's a drain, what's the shut-off valve. If you can remember those words, then at least you sound like you have the terminology for a kitchen design and bathroom design. You have your shut-off valves, you have your gas line, you have your electric wire, solid surfacing. It's just giving me some pretty pictures. So that's their one about products, kitchen and bath products. Okay, I think that this should be in paperback because they change every few years. And then I have my bathroom planning guide. And that's this whole guide. Let's see what's in this book. This is pretty good because it gives you like the person sitting in the tub. And you can say, how what's a good length for the tub for someone sitting there, guideline and access standards. This is hard to actually say. This is okay. So I pull up this picture, right? Just turn to it. Poor decision. Poor decision. Good decision. How do I know when I'm picking out a faucet, and I've picked out thousands of faucets? I don't necessarily know what is the angle of their spout. When I pick out a faucet, I go by the handles, I go by the spout design, and I've never said, oh, this angle spout isn't good. I've never had to do that. So I don't know how that relates. I don't understand. And people go like, oh, but I understand, Alison. How could you call yourself a kitchen designer? One thing I'm going to tell you that you need to know this. ADA vanities, okay? There are very few American with Disability Act made to order, made like ready-made vanities, okay? What makes something ADA is the measurements and the material. Okay, the measurements of the finished product are what matters. So if you can't find a vanity for a bathroom sink, make one. Make one out of the top with a panel, with side pieces. Just follow the dimensions of clearance. They're looking for clearance underneath the vanity to not hit your feet, your knees, or anything on hot pipes. You have to hide the drain pipes or cover them and make them, scald proof or whatever. And you need to get your feet in there. You have to be able to get the width of a wheelchair in there, and it has to be a certain height off the finished floor. So the dimensions, it's the dimensions that make something ADA. And people get all bent out of shape with the ADA going, but it doesn't say ADA, but the dimensions are ADA, okay? So if you custom make something to follow the ADA guidelines, that will comply. So the ADA guidelines say, now this is something that's changed. It says in this drawing that it's 32 to 34 inches high. It's 34 inches high. I don't believe the measurement is 32 anymore. I believe it's 34. One thing is the same, that to the underside of the countertop where your knees, the underside of the countertop of the cabinet, whatever, the clearance needs to be 27 inches minimum. That has to be clear from the floor to the underside of the opening. So the clear space is 27 inches. And the other dimension is that the width, open, clear width with no obstruction, needs to be 36 inches. So 27 inches clear, 36 inches left to right, and you have abided by the ADA guidelines. 27 inches to the underside, 36 inches width, and a maximum of 24 inches deep. So, and a vanity is usually 18 inches deep, 21 inches deep. So just keep the clearances underneath the vanity to be, that's what makes it ADA in a bathroom vanity. So like something like this wouldn't be a ADA vanity because it has it's covered at the top, and this is not 27 inches clear. Okay, if this was clear 27 inches off the floor and it had open side 36 inches, it would be considered ADA. So this book, again, is just talking about the ergonomics. And we have these are the no interference, so don't interfere. That I have this in my guidelines course, bathroom guidelines. So this to me, this book, again, has a lot of information. Oh, look at their questions. Bathing, soaking, relaxing, douching, sauna, showering, assisting an adult, showering with someone, a sponge bath, a steam showering, whirlpool soaking, other bathing, showering. So what do you do in the activity, grooming activities? Do you apply lotion, cosmetics, face and skincare, face wash, first aid, hair care, brushes, shampoo, conditioner? Do you apply lotion? Do you wash your hands? Are there medicines? Do you groom your nails? Do you groom your toes? Do you shave? Do you shave your legs and your underarms? Do you brush your teeth? Holy mackerel. Getting to know your client. Well, I thought my questionnaire was a lot. Oh, here they're wanting you to measure your client. Getting to know your client intimately. Getting to know your client. So you imagine, okay, can you stand and let me measure you now? Here, they want you to have the height and the weight and the age. Getting to know your client, their name, their age, their height, and their weight. And if they're right-handed or left-handed, if they have special needs or concerns. Imagine if I asked my client for their weight. I don't think I'd ever get anyone to tell me the truth. I know I'd shave off 5-10 pounds. Oh my gosh, I've gotten writing. Oh, they have got the handicapped person in there again. Again, we're getting into the ergonomics of somebody opening up a handle. What else do I have in this big book? Oh, yeah, they have their little drawings with the toilet. Again, this is old, so the measurements are going to be off. I'm giving you the things. So that's their basic guidelines. Oh, and this isn't opened up yet. Let's open this book. This is on project management. And again, we're going to talk about most of this is in computer programs nowadays. From 2006 to 2024, we've done a lot of development in the computer industry. So there's all kinds of programs, installation, contractors, cost controls. Oh, that's a good one. Tips from the masters. How does wood knowledge impact your design? Some species expand more than others. Know the specs for the species you have selected. Okay. The ceiling. If your walls are out of square. Oh, this is a good one. This is why we have fillers. See the filler? Everybody, look at the filler. Of course, this wall is the most out of square wall I've ever seen in my entire life. Even in the real world, I think I'd probably only get that in like a vintage house. I think we had something like that. It was like a house from the early 1800s. Oh, and this is talking about out of level flooring, how to do your shims, out of level flooring. What do you do? What is it? Lots of pricing tabulation forms, tips from the masters, sales forms. I'm just going through pages. I mean, I don't know what they expect me to learn from these little tiny things. Defining the scope of the project. Again, sample kitchen plant can't access, no longer available camera, please reconnect. I don't know what happened there. So that's just giving me my drawings again. Tips from the masters, tips from the masters, tips from the master. Let's see. Make sure the painting contractor properly masks and covers installed cabinetry and countertops to avoid splatter on new surfaces. Typically, we like to paint the kitchen before the cabinets go in. Realize that even a small patch in an existing textured wall will require a full wall corner to corner texture coating to provide a consistent surface appearance. Not all kitchen designers get involved in the painting. In a renovation project, have the plaster experts inspect a room with cracking or sagging plaster. Extensive rework to stabilize the old plaster may be required before the new skim coat or plaster mix can be applied. Know your local codes regarding waterproof wall materials acceptable for use behind wet walls in bathroom, tub, shower areas. Then it's talking about counter surface backsplash surfaces. Each material you specify will have its own inherent set of planning concerns that, if ignored, can cause problems at the job site. A major area of planning should be the countertops installed in projects. The International Solid Surface Fabricators Association conducts training programs for installation specialists. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. Again, I go to the guy. You do Corian? You certified? Okay. Normal cabinet flow chart. The sale is made. You send the drawing to the person to finish the normal cabinet chart. Okay, normal cabinet chart. Again, I've been in the business for I don't know how long, 30 some odd years. And I've been an expediter, I've been a project manager, I am the owner, and I've done construction and project manage those construction installs. So my cabinet flow chart, number one, the sale is made. Okay, sold the job. Then the next step is give the drawing to Judith. Okay, let's assume that Judith is my expediter. Then Judith is finished the drawing. And then you give the drawing to Beth for ordering. So you made the sale and you give the drawing to Judith and Judith finishes the drawing. How can you make a sale without the drawings done? Because it seems to me that the Judith should have finished the drawing before the sale was made. Okay, so it says the sale is made and give the drawing to Judith and Judith finished the drawing. Okay, no, you might have an idea, you might have gotten a retainer, but I didn't sell that job. Okay, I'm just on a retainer, I'm giving them ideas of what to do, but I didn't sell it. So the cabinet flow chart doesn't go like that. you shouldn't do any drawing or finish any drawing after the sale is made. After the sale is made, it goes directly to drawing, goes to Beth to ordering. Okay, so this is wrong, NKBA. The drawing goes to Beth for ordering. Maybe before the sale was made, me and Judith got together and worked on those drawings, but before it was finalized, because when it's finalized and I sell it, I've got all kinds of signatures on that drawing and all those paperwork, and I shouldn't be changing anything after those drawings are made because the client signed it, and I'm legally obligated to follow that drawing the same way that the client is legally obligated to buy what I sold them on that drawing. Okay, so then you give the drawing to Beth for ordering, yes. And then the cabinets get ordered, yes. And then the cabinets are arrived, but there's other stuff that goes on along in that order processing. Cabinets get ordered, then they have to get acknowledged from the vendor. And then they have to make sure that that acknowledgement is correct, that there's nothing wrong in the acknowledgement. So you have to make sure that the order is correct. Then the cabinets arrive after you've waited your 6, 10, 8, whatever weeks that you waited for your cabinets. And the cabinets actually goes to the shipping department. It usually doesn't. The cabinets come from the manufacturer and go to a shipping company. Usually they go to a large, because cabinets come from big, huge tractor trailers worth of, there might be 3, 4, 5 kitchens on that tractor trailer, and they're going from that shipping, Booth Movers, Peninsula Trucking, whatever you use. It's different than furniture. Okay, it's different. They're all in boxes. Everything kind of just gets checked in off a list of 45 items and goes in a corner until you're scheduling the delivery. So it goes to the shipping department or the shipping company, and then from there you have to contact the client and arrange for delivery to the job site. And then the kitchen is installed. And so delivering it to the job site and coordinating where it's going to go and what's going to happen while it's on the job site is a whole another thing, because you have to make sure that the cabinets are in the house. You don't want your cabinets outside of the house. Okay, you need to uh let's see. One of the most common mistakes made when ordering cabinets and decorative molding is miscalculating the quantity of molding lengths needed to complete the project. When cabinet parts are missed on the order, ordered incorrectly, or not ordered in sufficient quantity, a great deal of time and money is wasted during the reorder process. First of all, if it was never ordered in the beginning, you're not reordering anything. You're putting in a new order. And orders for stuff like molding and everything like that, it goes to express order. And any molding that's short, the contractors come back and forth and back and forth. So is it a common mistake? I guess, because figuring out the molding, I've ordered way too much molding. I've ordered under molding. Molding is hard to calculate. Okay, and then here it says the cabinet flow chart with additional procedures required. Sale is made, drawing gave it to Judith. Judith finished the drawing. Big no. Drawing goes to Beth for ordering. Order checked for missing parts, missing molding, drawing checked. Parts appears on drawing, parts reordered, parts missing. And that flow chart doesn't even make any sense to me. Floor plan. Oh, here's a floor plan. Okay, so what do we all know about islands? And again, this is in the NKBA book. All right. So, excuse me. I have to hold on my head. This to here is much more than 48 to 54 inches to the island. So why? I guess it's okay, but it's certainly not where an island goes. And do they have their 48 inches clear here? That doesn't even look like it's clear because it's cabinets adjacent here to here. Well, maybe it's 36 inches. It's a walkway. It should be 36 to 42 inches. But this is, why is this in the book? Why are you showing me this? Why do I have that there? It's a bad picture. And that they use that kitchen for all the diagram of everything. All the pictures are of that kitchen. See? Next page, it's that kitchen. That kitchen. Looks really good, but I don't know. It's so out of the way. What are they talking about here? Oh, and then they're placing it on the floor. How to install kitchen cabinets. Why do I have to know how to install them? Look. This is how to install the cabinets. And you get your floor and you need a cabinet line and there's your ruler and he's unboxing cabinets and making it level and drawing level and making a line. Why do I need to know that? And he's using his T-square, his corner square, and he's using his laser pointer, his stud finder. I guess you should know how to make them level and how to put them together and how they should mount them and put a screw and clamp them. They need to clamp the cabinets together when they screw the face frame together and they shim it to make it level. And here he's putting on the doors. Okay, he's showing you how to adjust the hinges. And these are just some custom details. Type of installation. What should the designer promise the installer? I promise to be nice to you. I promise not to want to kill you. I promise I'm going to try not to kill you. Let's see what NKBA says. What should the designer promise the installer? Prompt payment according to an agreed upon schedule. Okay. Follow the job site workbook format and prepare the plans in a consistent way so that the installation team becomes accustomed to working with the same type of material. Same type of written material, because certainly it's not the cabinetry and countertop material. And I'm going to tell you, not every, it's a workbook, must be a very small workbook, okay? Because contractors do not like to read the book. They don't even like to read it when the pictures are taped onto the wall. They don't like to read directions, okay? Share market strategies, the firm's business model, and make sure the individual is invited to see completed projects to instill a sense of confidence on the installer's part about the opportunity for a long-term working relationship with the team. Yeah, okay. I'm going to bring you into my company and let you know what my marketing strategies are. You're supposed to install the kitchen. You don't need to know my marketing strategies. Oh, I promise to provide him a clean, accurate plans, specifications, and details. I can promise I'm going to give it to him, but are they going to use it? Two different stories. Two different things. Over 30 years experience talking here. Never schedule the installer's time without an open dialogue. Why would I schedule my contractor without talking to them? You ever try and schedule a contractor? You guys, how you schedule a contractor? Okay, you call client Mary. Mary, he's got to come. What's your availability? Your availability is Monday, Tuesday, 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock. Monday, Tuesday. Okay, call the contractor. Contractor, Joe. Joe, Mary's availability is Monday between 12 and 1, Tuesday 12 and 1. And the contractor goes, well, I'm not available then. I'm only available on Wednesday at 8 a.m. So then you have to call back the client and you go, okay, client, he's only available at 8 a.m. Can you make that work? That's making the schedule for the contractor to meet with the client and me. It's a back and forth. I'm back and forth. Freaking make a schedule. Here, you got to tell the contractor you need to be at Mary's at 12 o'clock tomorrow and see what happens. Not unless you've had a dialogue with him and he's expecting to be there impromptu approximately 12 o'clock, or that you're going to tell him, listen, I've got a situation and the contractor, I need to tell you last minute. Can you be available last minute? Yes, I'll make it work. I'll make it work. I'll make it work. Then you schedule. Other than that, you don't schedule. Provide information about the client's personality before the installation specialists arrive at the job site. Let's tell him about the client's personality. Usually, you don't really find out what a client's personality is really like until the construction has started. The client's going out of their mind, and now you really know what they're like. I thought she was really nice, but her head is spinning now. You ever try it? No. Try it. Yeah, and then God forbid you say something about the client and the client finds out you said, listen, she's a real bitch. She's a real. Now, I guess really the only thing I would ever tell a contractor about the customer's personality would be if they're very OCD. If that customer is very, very OCD, that's something you really, really need to be aware of, because that customer can be a nightmare if they're OCD. And if the contractor doesn't know that ahead of time and they're messy or they're dirty or they do something that's not, it can go wrong. So really OCD, that neat person, the person who cares if the two lines aren't exactly even, notices when the shelf is out of level, a quarter of an inch. Maintain an established review process to evaluate mistakes when determining who is going to pay. Oh, maintain an established review process. Listen, you show up at the job site and you look for mistakes and you look for errors. And nobody wants to make a mistake and nobody wants to pay for it. So there's going to be a lot of finger pointing. So if any mistakes are going to be made, you have to find them way early and ahead of time. And who's going to pay? Like, that's a clear issue. Like if you didn't order enough molding, and you have to reorder the molding. You have to order more molding to get to the job site. And the contractor was all done at the job site and he has to come back, and comes back and he works for the day, and he charged you by the day. He may charge you extra for the day, but if he charged you for the whole job and he has to come back for another couple of hours, he might not charge you. It depends, and who's going to pay. It's not black and white. This is not the only thing black and white are the drawings that they sign. That's black and white. Everything else is gray. It's a tough business. Then maintain a clear accounts payable process and stick to the agreed upon payment schedule. That's probably the most important thing in a business, is keeping track of your money. Keeping track of your money. That is the hardest part as an interior designer, kitchen designer, keeping track of the finances. We are creatives. We are artists in the general sense of it. Most of us are. We're in a creative industry. We see texture, lights, patterns, balance. So the money and paying people is where the business can get very, very ugly. So if you have trouble maintaining your finances, that's where you should really, if you don't want to hire a coach, you can't do this, you can't do that, hire financial people. Okay. Talk with your accountants, talk with your finance, whoever's going to help you financially. That's your friend. That's your friend, because if you make mistakes and you didn't get this right, and you didn't communicate properly, or the contractor didn't look at something, or something broke, or there's a mistake, you have money in the bank to save yourself. Okay? Because if you make a mistake in this business, it's going to cost you hundreds to thousands of dollars, and not 1,000. It could cost you 15, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000. It costs thousands to make a mistake. So that was interesting. What should the designer promise the installer? You know what, you should promise your installer that you're going to be as communicative and open as possible. Promise your installer that you're going to be on call and ready to answer questions. Promise your installer that you'll show up on the first day of construction so you can go through the cabinet plan and all the documentation on site with them the day of, or the day before, or midway, whatever they're doing, that you'll be there and that you're available to talk to them. Promise them you're going to pay them. Promise them that you've got their best interests at heart. Promise them you're going to do your best to communicate your best. That's what we promise them. It's what we promise our clients too. We did all our due diligence ahead of time. Sample topics for pre-construction conference. And this stuff is all changes per job. It changes per customer, and it changes per contractor. The dialogue that you have with one is different than the dialogue you have with another. Trying to maintain good relationships with installers is really important, because if you have a problem and you need to solve it, an installer who likes you and has a good working relationship with you is going to try and help you solve the problem, because there's a problem-riddled job. We have to solve problems. So those are the people that you develop and you try, and that's a trial and error, right? It's trial and error. I have to find out who you communicate with well. Trying to find suppliers that show up when they're supposed to, deliver when they're supposed to deliver. Estimating the project and developing the specs. Estimating a project is, let me tell you, is very, very difficult. I'm not even going to get into it in here, because this is very complicated. This is almost like accounting over here. Understanding design firm profit planning process. Again, I think that's very different. Estimating can be really, really difficult. I'm not even going to get into that. Sign here. One thing I'll tell you have to sign everything. Project preparation. So this is okay. Project man. It's a little book. Maybe I'd read this book. And that's the books. Oh wait, this one I didn't even open. Another heavy book. Kitchen and Bath Business Management. And again, this one isn't open either. These were well-used books. I have a few books. I maybe opened them in the very beginning. I have a book from one of the Universal Kitchen Design. Oh, God, it's over 20 years old. And I never open it. I opened it years ago when I first got it. This is a new book. And again, we have all our wonderful sponsors. Shout out to the sponsors. Lots of pages of sponsors. NKBA. It's all about the money, people. Sponsors. But somebody's got to do it. And at least the NKBA is doing it. Again, I don't always agree with everything. The goal of this book, the authors, a profile of the intended readers of this book. This is a reference book. The basic premise of the book: successful business are led by balanced management. Business management forms. Improve your return on investment. Make an appointment with yourself. Start by sketching out your business model component parts. The pros and cons of owning your business. Okay, this book should come with a bottle of wine or a bottle of vodka. Okay? The pros and cons of, let's see what they say. One. Oh my God, I got to get to page 1. Look at all the index. This is just the index. Oh. The goal of this book, the authors, profile intended readers. This is a reference book. The kitchen and bath process. Look, see, lots of processes. Lots of processes. So I want to see what it says. Getting started. The pros and cons of owning your own business. Owning your own business. Pros. You're your own boss. The sky's the limit. Okay. You can prove yourself. I'm trying to prove myself for 30 years. You will have a hand in all aspects of the business. Is that a pro or is that a con? You will be able to take pride in promoting and marketing your own business. Yes, I have a lot of pride. You will be in control. I'm a bit of a control freak. You will have creative freedom. Is that before the stress or after the stress? The more the company makes, the more you make. That should be number 1. Okay. I think that's the main reason we all go into our business for ourselves, is we want to make the most money, right? The boss always makes the most money, and you can't always be the boss of someone else's company because it's their company and they're the boss and they're making all the money. So I would say that that is the number 1 reason people want to own their own businesses, for the money. You cannot be fired, laid off, or forced to retire. Well, you know what? You can. You can be laid off. You can be forced to retire if you don't run your business properly. Your business will go under. And that can happen. Okay. Most businesses fail in the first 5 years of business. So you can be fired and you can be laid off. And if you're laid off and you haven't paid yourself properly and set up your books properly, you're not entitled to workers' comp. Not workers' comp. You're not entitled to unemployment. Okay. So that is not, I don't, no. You will have the ultimate satisfaction of knowing you started and ran a successful business. Okay. Anytime we have success in anything, we feel pride. I don't necessarily have to own my own business to feel pride. Owning your own business cons. There is no guaranteed paycheck. I think that that should be in capital letters. But you know what they do say? They do say to pay yourself first. It's very hard to do when you have other people looking at you with their hand out for the money to get paid, like that contractor that you promised to pay back in the other book. It's all on your shoulders. Not if you have a delegated team. It's on your shoulders, but you can alleviate your stress by having a good team, so that you're sharing the burden. Okay. So it's not always on all your own shoulders. Okay. Don't agree with that always. You cannot please everyone. Well, that's a pro or a con, and that's just life. Okay. You can't please everyone. No one's ever going to be happy. Everybody's not going to be a friend. And that I don't even know if that should even be in the book. That's just a matter of fact of life. You will work harder and longer than ever before. And again, that's not always true, because you could be working for somebody and working 80 hours on someone else just to make your commission. So, and you shouldn't, if you shouldn't work harder and you shouldn't work longer, you should be working smarter. right? If you're a business owner, you should work smarter by delegating the work, getting people to support you, outsourcing part of your job for accounting or QuickBooks or measuring. When I had my job, my own company, I hired somebody to do all my measures, all my field measures. So I had hired somebody to do that. I hired contractors. I hired an accountant to check over my books. So you will assume the risk of investment. Yes, you will assume the risk of your investment without no pain, no gain, no guts, no glory, no risk, no win. Okay. So risk is actually just a part of life. We take a risk when we get in a relationship. We take a risk when we work for a job, for another company. We take a risk when we get behind the wheel and drive a car. There will be a constant stress and pressure. No, there shouldn't be constant stress and pressure. If you've established your business right, if you're working, you've got your um, systems in place, you've got your people in place, you've got your contracts worked out. You should not be under stress and pressure all the time. The owner of the company should not be so stressed out that they can't enjoy their life. So I don't agree with that. There will be constant stress and pressure. If there is constant stress and pressure, you're doing something wrong and you need to reestablish your business practices. And you will have to adhere to all the laws and regulations. Well, that just goes for anything. In any business, I have to adhere to their laws and regulations. So, owning your own business cons, I'll say owning your own business cons is the one thing I'll agree with is that there is no guaranteed of a paycheck. And it's on your shoulders to start it, but you can work that out. In the beginning, it's hard. You might have the pressure in the beginning, but you should be able to hand off that pressure. So the business taking a risk in the investment, I think that that's all just in the beginning. And as you've established it and got your systems in place, that you should be able to have a successful business and run a profitable company. It doesn't have to be all doom and gloom. The business foundation, a qualified keys to a successful kitchen and bath business. A qualified entrepreneur, a researched business opportunity, a detailed written plan, a sufficient capital fund. Now, you can have all of those, but if you have a sufficient capital fund and it's not managed properly, you're not going to have a business. Your business is going to go under. Okay, because the money, it's all about the money. Everything we do is about the money. Every reason we pay for uh anything, it all has to do with money at the end of the day. It's all about the money. So your fund has to be managed properly. If you're a designer and you can't manage your money properly, you need to hire somebody. Like I cannot manage my money properly. I'm a bad money management person. A detailed written plan. That's also really hard to do, to get a detailed written plan. For us to put it in writing about what our plan is and how to write a plan, you might need to go take something from the Small Business Association. SBA has courses on stuff like that. At least they did. I took that. I took their core. It's called Core, CORE. I took that course from Small Business Association. So that's part of being a business. I'll say one of the pros to starting to being the business owner is that if you want to do something, if you have it in your head and you have a goal and you want to do it, you can pursue it. When you're your own boss, you can pursue that vision. Okay. You will have the opportunity to do whatever vision you want. To get a company to backbone to support you for your vision is very few and far between. Usually, when you work for somebody else, you have to follow their vision. Okay, you have to follow what they've decided, what they've come up with. But not everybody is a vision maker. Most people are a vision follower. So not everybody can have their own business. They're not that type of personality. So the type of personality that's going to want to be in charge and want to be the boss and going to be the bossy one and want to make the decisions and want to take on the pressure, that's a certain type of personality. And either you are that personality or you're not that personality. And a successful business is a combination of things, a combination of people, a combination, like, for customer service. Like, I'm not good at customer service because I don't have patience. So in my business, I shouldn't be the one talking and telling Mrs. Smith that her stuff is going to be late, because I'm just like, listen, it's going to be late. I don't like it any better than you do, but what am I supposed to do? That doesn't really go over well with the client. Sometimes you need someone in customer service that's, yes, Mrs. Smith, I understand you don't want to, I understand, Mr. Joe, I understand. Yes, you want that kind of person in customer service. I'm going to take it and I'm going to try and make it better. I'm going to go to the people ahead. I'm not good in customer service. So anytime you have a company that's really does well, it always has those four personalities in there, the A, B, C, and D, and whatever those all are. You're a detailed person, you're a more sales-oriented person, you're a more sensitive person, and you, I don't know what the other person is. Combination, who knows? Evaluate yourself. And here's a picture of business examples. So this is a business book. This finishing the advantages of a partnership, disadvantage. So I don't know, does this really belong to a kitchen and bath or just businesses in general? Oh, there's a CD of forms for managing people, profits, and projects. I'm going to check out that. Never been open. Oh, wait. It has a tab. So those are the books for the study group for the NKBA certification courses. Now, I'm never going to open up those books again. I went through them. I saw what I needed to see, and I'm going to take them and I'm going to put them in the garbage, because they're 9 inches worth of books, and I don't have that kind of space, and they're heavy, because these are the bound edition. You can get these in paperback. I had the paperback edition, and I really only opened 1 or 2 of them. I don't like this one, Kitchen and Bath Business Management. That's garbage. I'm not going to throw it in his bag. You know what I got out of that? I got a really nice bag and some heavy garbage. Oh, Ellen Sheaver. Yeah, I have a book from her too, with Paul Pankow. Are they the ones who did this book? Who's the new book by? Let's see, does it say? This is the 2022 book. Doesn't tell me. Oh, introduction is by Judith Neary and Corey Klassen. Oh, contributing industry experts, 269. So it's at the back of the book. Here's contributing experts. Oh, now look at this. American National Standards Institute, American Society of Heating, Refrigeration, and Air Conditioning. So now they're giving all of this to these. So this is a good book because it has the links to get to them. Like, I really think that if you're going to be doing American National Standards Institute, if you're doing ADA, things like that, Queen's Printer of British Columbia Building Access Handbook. British Columbia, Canada, Vancouver. Let's see. Bingle Courier Interior Design Illustrated, 3rd edition. Building Codes Illustrated, A Guide to Understanding the 2015 International Building Code. Mary Jo Peterson, Universal. I have her book. Alvin Tilley, The Measures of Man and Woman, Human Design Factors. M. Zelnick Panero, Human Dimensions and Interior Space, a source book of design reference standards. So that's more of a contributing people to this book. So all these books condensed into this, but this is not for the test. These are those are for the test. Again, they're from 2006, so they're really old. So I really would like to know what other people think about these books and the tests. I know I always enjoy studying for, I think that lots of topics can be discussed, can be covered when you're studying for the tests. I mean, I studied for the NCIDQ way back in the 25 years ago, but I got sick and I couldn't contest my score, and it was a test that was controversial because some people put in a room and other people didn't put in the room because the instructions weren't clear, and I couldn't contest it. I was having lung surgery, so it wasn't contesting that. So, did I do the kitchen planning? Did I pull this really big one? Did I do it? Oh, it's so big. Oh, I think I did this one. Distillation units, reverse osmosis unit, disinfection methods, iron removal equipment, drinking water standards. I don't know. A lot of overkill. So it's an even bigger pile. Oh, yeah, look how many books I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 books. 8. Full of pictures. Anyway, that's my review of the study books, and I really would love to have somebody tell me more about studying for the test. Again, I know my friend Karen Hockley is a certified master kitchen and bath designer, and studying for the tests and learning everything in the tests are good, but she doesn't keep her certification anymore because it costs too much money, and it's all about the certification. And I think that once you learn it, the customers don't really even know what a certified master kitchen and bath designer are. But it's interesting to know that some of the stuff is relevant and some of the stuff isn't relevant, and a lot of the stuff in the books aren't relevant, and for that matter, I wouldn't want to pick up the book. I don't really want to know about the piping. I just need to know, yes, there's a vent line, yes, there's another line, how they all work together. I don't know. Ask the plumber. I just need to know, can I move the toilet over there? And they tell me no or yes. And do I have access to my plumbing? Anyway, that was my little critique. Keep an eye out for my courses that are coming up. I didn't go through them. I have I'm having the course on the kitchen design guidelines, the NKBA kitchen design guidelines, based on, I just used not the whole entire book. Okay, I didn't have every single guideline. I used the most used guidelines, the most common guidelines, the minimum that you need to know with some more added in there to help you design properly a safe environment for the kitchen and a safe environment for the bathroom. Like for the bathroom, where do the towel bars go? Where does the toilet paper holder go? How high do the sconces go? All the technical information. And then I have the course on the kitchen design, bathroom design processes. Like, how do I go about? Where do I start? Where do I put pen to paper? What do I measure? What do I have to do? And I'll say, well, you need to take a picture of the heater. You need to take a picture of the electric panel. You need to take a picture underneath the sink. You need to find the center line of that waste line coming out the wall. You need to, don't measure the countertop, measure the wall, measure the height of the window, blah, blah, blah. So, and then what do? You take the drawing, you go back to your drawing board. What do you put into the computer? What do you show the client? What's going to happen? Blah, blah, blah. Then when I have my course on the appliances, what are the different appliances? We have different types of refrigerators, built-in, freestanding, countertop depth, single door, double door, top and bottom, faucets, what's a widespread, single hole, sinks, undermount, top mount, tubs, alcove tub, tile in tub, tile flange, all the type of things about the material, two-piece toilet, in the wall toilet. So all of the items for kitchen and bath use. And then I have the course on the lighting design, which I just did recently, and I'm relaunching that. Went over really well. People enjoyed that course. I'm relaunching the course on the lighting. Lighting is actually a 2-day course. And then I have the course on the final documentation. How do you put together the project? What does the client sign? What are the drawings I need to do? Where do I go from there? What exactly do I do in order to look professional and to get the check? You need to get the check, right? You need to get the money. We all get a retainer when we start a job. You should be getting a retainer. If you feel uncomfortable getting a retainer, to my opinion, you should have at least a $750 retainer, if not more. So my starting point for a retainer is $750. Wherever you live in the country, if anyone's going to be buying a kitchen and they're serious about hiring you and they want to invest in you, they will give you $750. And that $750 goes towards their cabinet purchase. So it's not like you're taking their money. But if they don't buy it, they don't buy the project from you, you are at least made $750. Okay. That's the point of the project, is to always make money, because it's always about the money and not walk away empty handed. So that's why I always say, take $750, if not $1,500, because you're going to have a lot of talking back and forth and doing hours worth of drawings before the clients even determine that they're going to buy that $50,000 kitchen from you, because we all know that the $50,000 kitchen is where you make your money, not the $750 retainer. So at least if they walk away and go, oh no, I got a better price from someplace else, you got $750. And then I also talk about the cabinet construction standards. That's a good course if you have any qualms, like to really know what is a framed, frameless, wood interior, MDF, cherry wood, maple wood. What's the difference? What am I looking at? People, when they look at a cabinet, you are looking at a door, right? So designers, they see the door. Homeowners, they see the door and the drawer front. And they see the hood and the cabinet and the countertop color and they see everything else, but they're looking at the door. Well, I'm telling you, let's take off the door and let's look at the box construction, the back, the sides, the top, the bottom, underside, the drawer box, pull the drawer out. What's the drawer slides? What's the door hinges? What's the bottom shelves like? What's a rollout? What's inserts? All that stuff. So that's a really good course if you want to know about the cabinetry and the wood species and door styles and inset and overlay and standard overlay and blah, 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 blah. I can go on and on and on. And also cabinet construction standards. What are the standards? Cabinets come in increments of 3, starting at 9 inches, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, 33, 36, 39. Get my drift? I can count by 3s. And they go up the same way, increments of 3. And Kitchen and cabinet designers work in inches or millimeters or centimeters, whatever the European is. We don't go feet by inches, we go inches. So whatever the European metric system is to that, again, it would be in their breakdown of inches. So those are the courses coming up. My first course is going to be going on November. What is it? Oh, wait. I got a couple of text messages probably from Trump asking me for money. Oh, and the invasion. Please don't give $5 to help my dad before his critical deadline. I'm serious. Don't. It's Don Jr. Because I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna give Donald Trump $5 freaking because he's a billionaire. And you know why else I'm not giving Donald Trump $5? Because he's got Elon Musk and he's a billionaire. And let them give $5. I want $5. You give me $5. I'm not giving you $5. I want $5. I digress. These people asking me for money. My first course is November 13th. Okay? November 13th is kitchen design guidelines. November 20th is bathroom design guidelines. So I'll have those advertised in my group and on my website and all over the place. I'm going to send out an email and it's all good. So anywho, that's what I had to talk about today. And I'm going to be giving a little webinar on the history of kitchens, only because I really love history. And I want to do something fun and talk about the history of the kitchen. And it's not a big to do about the history of the kitchen, it's just a fun little ditty. History of the toilet, history of the indoor plumbing. It's fun. History of the gas line. All right, so that is my little story for today. Thank you for watching,